Hello again, Gooners. It's me. I'm back. I don't know what I'm talking about today. Well, that's pretty much the case every time I do talk to you. But those of you that have had patience so far, thank you for staying with me. There's a couple of fishermen nearby, so they might get interrupted, or I might get interrupted. I was a bit worried when they sort of throw the rod back. I was worried that the hook might sort of catch onto me in some way, but no. And I'm not so worried about this vlog catching on, because it's not catching on very quickly as of yet. But all that can change, of course. Transfer window still remains open. Have I got news for you? Not a great deal, I've got to be honest, because Sami Khedira, is it on, is it off? We keep hearing various different stories about that. Latest I heard on that was it's off, but just before that I heard it's on, because there were two different reports of Ancelotti and what he said. I'll tell you what, Ancelotti, I think he's really famous for saying, it's not true, it's not true. If you ask him anything, he replies, it's not true. Anyway, on this particular subject, I think he got completely misquoted. I saw a story where he was basically saying, Sami Khedira can leave, I do not care where he goes, or something like that. The accent's gone a little, I must admit. Anyway, he went, apparently he wasn't included in the squad for a recent game, and off he went to Leipzig, which is where most people go. It's probably like German Coventry, if you like. Get sent to Coventry, get sent to Leipzig. No disrespect, any people that have been to East Germany, or what was once known as East Germany, probably Leipzig is a lovely place. But that's where Khedira ended up for some unknown reason. And Ancelotti said, it sounded like he was saying he didn't really care where he went, but in reality what he did in fact say was that he had permission to go, and so off he went. There's slightly different connotations involved with that take on the story. So to me it sounds like Sami Khedira is staying. From the last thing I read on it, sounds like he's staying as opposed to being out the door. But he's only got 1 year remaining on his current contract, so as I've said all along, I wouldn't be at all surprised if he does in fact join Arsenal, bearing in mind that Arteta is injured for the foreseeable future. That might not be that long, because I can't foresee the future at all well, particularly as our results haven't been amazingly good. Okay, 1 win and 2 draws doesn't sound bad, and this unbeaten run continues, but ultimately the performance against Everton was pretty poor. Can't be happy with that. I was pleased to see Flames, or Flamini, back in the lineup, but it didn't seem to work. He didn't maybe protect the back four as much as I would like. But I wasn't really blaming just him, because obviously I like Flames, as everyone knows. Not just him. What about the rest of the midfield? Did they really do their work? What about Mesut Ozil? Is he really producing the form that we expect? Not yet. I'm still not writing him off, but I would have loved to have seen Fabregas back. I'm not going to go on about it, but let's just bear in mind who's playing the best of our midfielders, or is it him? Well, I'll rest my case for now. I was interested to see that Arsene Wenger doesn't regret at all not bringing Fabregas back. I think he would have done a superb job alongside Flamini. Flams has sort of turned into like a French Flames now. But Flams by himself is not quite the same as Cesc and Flames together. That was Cesc is on fire. No wonder they wrote that song, whoever it was that wrote that song. So there you go. That's my take on the current midfield situation. I'm not altogether pleased with it. Obviously pleased with Callum Chambers. His performance has been excellent, but against Everton not quite as strong as what we've seen, but he's still composed. No wonder people are saying he should be called up for England. I'm sort of seeing him as a future England captain, but I'm probably jumping the gun quite a lot by saying that. I don't want to put pressure on the guy. He's only a teenager, let's face it, but what a player. Such a great player, and we've got to be pleased with his progress so far, but let's not heap too much pressure on him. So yeah, looking at, I'll tell you something else I really wanted to discuss, and that's the whole Olivier Giroud situation. It's a bit of an enigma, really. The guy's scored a lot of goals. Arsene Wenger says he'll get 25. I'm not sure he'll get 25 in the Premier League, but he may well get 25 in all competitions. And yes, he is improving every year. I'd agree with Wenger on that. And I totally disagree with all the fans that think he's a what do they call him? They call him all sorts, but not a centre forward, and not a great striker. Okay, yes, he does miss chances. Who doesn't? Did Thierry Henry never miss a chance? I'm sorry, he missed quite a few chances. I'm not saying he missed as many as Olivier Giroud. Perhaps Giroud, he's not as great a finisher even as Theo Walcott, even though I've had that argument many times. I'm looking around for ants, by the way, because sort of one huge ant which I crushed, which isn't very Buddhist of me because I'm not Buddhist. But anyway, this ant's now bit the dust, and I'm worried about what they're going to do to get revenge. But anyway, that's nothing to do with Arsenal Football Club, is it? But it's just all about the insect life that surrounds me right now. Anyway, and there's a bit of something might leap out the ocean and take a nip out of me as well. So I'm worried about that too. So, but talking of Arsenal, which has nothing to do with the motorboat going past with somebody not jet skiing or water skiing. They're water skiing. You might even get a glimpse of it if you look really closely behind me. Anyway, that's fun, but watching Arsenal isn't at the moment. Oh, see the tenuous link? I've got it in somehow. Anyway, it's not been fun, especially against Everton. I was pretty shocked at how appalling the performance was. Playing Alexis Sanchez up front, I'm not saying with hindsight, I said all along, this guy is not going to come in and score loads of goals. Everyone called me some kind of heretic for suggesting that this guy is not going to be the answer to all of our problems. And quite honestly, so far it doesn't look like it's going to be the answer. Arsene Wenger himself said that he's not physically up to the challenge right now, and mentally that's affecting him too, which is understandable. But I think Alexis Sanchez will come good, but we need to give him plenty of time, obviously more time than Callum Chambers, because Alexis Sanchez is coming in from a totally different footballing culture. Okay, La Liga is a great standard of football, but it's not the Premier League. The Premier League involves a lot of the physical side, which it's not completely absent from Spanish football, but I don't think it's quite as grueling. You're not going to be kicked around from pillar to post the way a lot of English players are. So Alexis Sanchez, I think he'll toughen up and I think he'll be fine, but he just needs a lot of time, and we can't expect him to score more than 10 goals this season. Sorry about that. Most of those 10 will come in the second half of the season, as I've been predicting all along. Olivier Giroud, we should place our faith in him. He will, as Arsene Wenger said, score 25 goals in all competitions. I'm reckoning if he plays a lot of games, he may well get 20 goals in the Premier League, not more than that. So let's not put too much pressure on these guys. They're there to perform, and they'll perform up to expectations as long as we don't get on their backs. And that's what I don't like seeing. I've heard fans really having a go at Olivier Giroud, and it makes me sick, quite honestly. I was watching some video of a snake with his head chopped off and it was still gnashing away, and that made me feel sick as well, but not as sick as people that criticise Olivier Giroud make me. That made me feel really ill to the stomach and angry as well, actually, whereas the snake didn't make me feel angry, it just made me feel sick. So maybe I shouldn't have compared the two things at all with hindsight. But hindsight's a wonderful thing, as they say, and I haven't been using it a lot, have I? I've just been saying what I see. I've been using foresight. I've been telling you what's going to happen. I told you Alexis Sanchez is not going to hit the ground running in the Premier League. It's a big step. It's not necessarily a step up. It's just a different kind of step, and he's got to get used to stepping in line with the Premier League as opposed to La Liga, which is completely different kettle of what do we call it in this area? Sakura, I think it is, or fish, in other words. I'll let you work out what language I'm trying to speak and not doing a very good job of it. Okay, so anything else that I've got to mention? Oh, Podolski. We need to talk about the Podolski situation, because Podolski's been linked with Galatasaray. Don't see him going there personally, especially as they want Joel Campbell as well. Keep your hands off. I think we're going to keep Joel Campbell, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if he does get offloaded. I don't think he's done quite enough to convince Wenger that he should stay, but then he's not. I think, bearing in mind his age and everything, maybe Wenger will persevere till January, I'm hoping. Podolski, well, he's not been in the lineup at all, and apparently he's not unfit. So why is that? I say, looking at an ant just careering past me, who looks rather large, to say the least. But Podolski, we don't know if he's large or small at the moment. You'd think because he hasn't played, he won't be particularly match fit, but he is a good finisher. Some people would say we need that, but he's never really produced the goods, whereas Olivier Giroud has produced, to some extent, he has produced the goods in front of goal. We can't deny it, and he does put himself about and creates assists. Podolski scored a few goals, but not enough goals. But then again, you could argue he's not been played in his proper position enough of the time. We've got the old syndrome of playing people out on the left wing and then wondering why they're not performing, and another ant is now careering past in the opposite direction. A couple of them. I think on this note, I might just sort of wind up this vlog or whatever I call it, because I still haven't made my mind up, pretty soon, because it's getting like an ant colony as I speak. And I bet, yeah, they're round my feet as well. They're absolutely everywhere. And so rather than getting chewed up, I'm gonna sign off with these thoughts that Podolski could be on the way. Cologne doesn't seem like the likely destination, although he'd like to go there. It seems very likely he'll go to Wolfsburg. So you heard it here first, or second, or third. I don't know which. But any other transfer news that I've got for you? Not particularly. I think Podolski on the way out is the main one. Aside from that, who else is on the way out? Diaby could be on the way out, but who wants him? Nobody at the moment. So if you do know someone who wants Diaby, who wants a player that's perennially cropped, who's cropped even more than perennially, he may be, if he had a perennial, he'd be cropped in it. So if you want Diaby, please give me a call. I won't give you my number. You'll have to find it out for yourself, because in this day and age, anything is possible. But Diaby's fitness, improbable. Until the next time I have to say, away.